standing by the shadow of the Washington Monument.
Let's open it up this way.
A symbol of a dark time in our nation's history unravels again.
This is 8 panels. There we go.
Stitched in pain and loss.
You can do whatever you want within 3 feet by 6 feet. And people have done whatever they wanted.
This block of quilt panels is a reminder of what was for Mike Smith.
It still kind of chokes me up to look down this mall and think about what we were able to accomplish with covering the whole thing in fabric.
Timothy Miller.
James Calavari.
At the Washington Monument, friends and relatives of AIDS victims recited a seemingly endless list of names.
Smith was one of the founders behind the Names Project AIDS Memorial Quilt.
Lloyd L. Long.
Reverend Tom Davis.
John C. Moore.
35 years ago, the first display on the National Mall honored the lives lost to the AIDS epidemic.
Jim P. John P.
At a time
These are the names of our dead.
when their names were neglected.
We had to fight very, very hard to even get the quilt open. Ronald Reagan had never even said the word AIDS. There was no money being spent at NIH on any sort of research or therapy. Us being able to bring this quilt out here blew the lid off the topic.
A solemn but loud gesture of protest and support.
Some 2,000 panels.
From 1987 till 1996, the quilt kept growing.
Scott Lago.
The most, commemorating 48,000 victims.
We had panels from every state, and about half of them had come from mothers.
His son was Richard, and he was an electrician with his father.
Something is missing.
Joe Hartney.
Will never return.
Who had made a panel and shipped it off to us so that their child, their dead son, could be part of something like this.
Can you count how many friends you've lost?
At least 40. At 40, I stopped sort of keeping track.
The epidemic was hard to avoid for many like Randy Pumphrey.
For a lot of that time, I lived in death. I didn't live in life.
He was a chaplain at a hospital in D.C., witnessing countless final moments for strangers who were once full of life.
One of the docs in trauma would say to me, "We call you in when we fail." I would sit with somebody as they died, sometimes because their families had just left them.
Eventually, one of those patients would be someone he knew,
Pictures.
like his friend Bruce, who just celebrated his 27th birthday.
The person in the back is Bruce.
But as his health rapidly declined, Pumphrey created a space for his family and boyfriend
Tommy.
to say their final words.
I remember saying to Tommy, "We're getting really close. You need to go and say goodbye to him." And Tommy did. And he held on to him, told him how much he loved him, and how much he was going to miss him. Tommy collapsed into my arms and he said, "I will never hate you so much in my life for making me do that." And I said, "Today you could hate me as much as you want. But what you just did was really good."
Bruce, just one of countless stories.
This panel says, Marlon Riggs, lights, camera, action.
Woven, painted, and sewn in a quilt.
Marlon was a playwright and an actor.
Hugging you with the comfort that 35 years later,
C.K. III.
Stephen Albaugh.
My friend Congressman Stuart McKinney.
their names are still being remembered
Daniel Sotomayor.
for generations to come.
That's our legacy, is passing that torch of solving community problems.
In D.C., Matthew Torres, WUSA 9.